Hey everybody, this is Tambion and I'm back with another Transformers video review. This time I have Transformers Combiner Wars Powerglide. As you can see right here, he does have a combined form for Superion, and he does, if you look back here, he becomes a gun. If you look up here, he does have a distinction. Actually gives a more of a description instead of his distinction or what his job actually is. It says that he's an aerial bot, well versed in dogfighting tactics. So he does actually take 10 steps to transform, and I don't know if that's 10 steps in general. It looks like it's from his robot to his jet mode. I don't know how many steps it actually takes to make his gun because I haven't opened this yet. But let's go ahead and get to that and open him up to check him out. So I'm back and I have Powerglide out of his packaging and in his alt mode. Just taking a look at it, he looks really nice. The only thing that I've noticed really with this guy in this mode is just with his knees right here, you can kind of bend that right there and it doesn't really lock into place, and you'll get, if you set him down a little too hard, see, it'll bend, and that's about it. That's the only real kind of gripe that I have with his plane mode. His plane mode looks really nice. You can, just looking at it, you can see some of the parts are and such, but it's not bad. It looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and show off how to transform him into his alt mode, or I'm sorry, into his robot mode. And first thing we want to do is we're just going to come down here and we're going to start with the legs. So I'm going to flip down these right here to create his feet, and you can see that the legs are already kind of splitting apart, and that's something else that there's a problem with in jet mode. If you kind of are going to play with him, his legs may kind of split apart, and you need to be careful with these wings right here, because you can see there's kind of some stress marks right here in there. One of the guys that's in my Transformers group, he bought one, and actually I don't know how he put the stress on it, but the same day that he opened it, he actually stressed it so much that this little stabilizer right here, it actually broke off and then wouldn't come back on. It's supposed to snap right back on kind of with friction, but it didn't want to do that. So just be mindful of these right here. You're going to want to fold these back for transformation anyway, so I'll go ahead and show you that. Then you're going to take, and you see these little part right here, well, that actually pegs in. You can see the peg right here maybe, and there's a hole right in the bottom of the wing. So you want to flip those up, and when you flip that up, you can see the hole in the top of the wing right here, and then this little thing right there, and you just want to click that, and I'm going to flip that down, and then we'll take his head, and his head actually rotates around to the front like that, and then this portion right here, you're going to want to untab this right here, and you can see that if you're looking underneath here, there's two holes right there, and then there's two kind of tabs on the legs. So with that, then like that, you can still leave this down, but you want to take and rotate, and you can see these notches right here, and when you rotate that down, it'll actually knock into place like that, and you hear it click. And then you can take the hands and untab them from the wing, and there you have Powerglide. So for his articulation, start at the head. You can turn the head left and right because of his transformation. It's just a little hard to get a hold of sometimes. So as you can see, I can turn it. And then you come here to the shoulders, and it's on a ball joint, so you go forward, back, all the way around if you want to, and then out because of the cut right there. Then there is a pinned hinge right here, so you can bend his elbows. Then you come down here, there's no waist swivel, but you get here to the hips, and you can bend it out to a certain degree. If you flip this up, you can get it out a little bit further, but that's about as far back as you're going to get because it becomes hindered by this stuff back here. You can go forward, you can even go out. The knee is a ball joint, so you can bend it and then you can twist it. So, and then you can kind of, I wouldn't push this down too much further, just because of what I've seen in the past with this guy and some of the stressing that it's done. But you can point it up, and that's mainly because of transformation. So as pretty much all of you guys know, he does have a third mode because he's part of the Combiner Wars series, and he becomes a gun for Superion. So to transform him into that gun, you want to kind of have him almost in his jet mode. So I'm going to start transforming him back into that, and you're going to have him like this, and you're going to leave the wings as they are. Flip the head back around, and like I said, it's really hard because there's not a lot of room to grab, and then this cockpit comes out so that it covers up the head. And then you want to take and flip this back forward. You're going to want to leave this up like this, and this becomes a kind of a scope. And then you're going to take and peg this back together, push this like this. You can see how it kind of comes apart real easily. Okay, and then you want to take and flip these down like this, and then these thrusters right here, they actually slide forward, and they slide a bit of a ways forward. And see the difference between how far they are out. You're going to want to do that one. And then his landing gear then becomes the handle for his gun. So you can see it's a gun. It has pretty much 3 barrels on it. I don't know if they would consider these like flamethrowers since they are the jets, and this would be maybe a gun. And then it has missile racks on the underside of his arms, and then the sights right here. So this is actually a pretty mean gun right here if you think about it. And then go ahead and get him back to robot mode. Okay. I must say it's really nice to have a proper sized Powerglide now for your classics line. With the last one that we had was really way too big for what he was supposed to be. So it's nice to actually have one that is proper size. He does have a few paint apps on him. In the most part, they are nice. They are very thick, and or at least on mine, they're very thick and they're very pronounced. So you can see that on the head, he has some very bright blue eyes on there. Very nice, crisp Autobot logo, and then this blue right here it pops. It's so bright, and that's the same blue that was used for his eyes. And so you can see some of the paint that they had right here, and then in the inside of his arms, they're painted, and that's hard to do sometimes. They probably masked out a lot of this and then sprayed at different angles just to get all that properly painted inside of him, because he has this gray color, and if you don't get all that spray painted, you're going to see some of that in there. So I did a good job with that. and then the paint right here also. He's not, for a Legends figure, he's not too hard or too simple. I think that this is what I would expect for Hasbro to produce, but a lot of times they don't. I like the transformation. It makes him look good in both modes. He looks good in his jet mode and also in this mode. So it's nice that they didn't really skimp on that, and they put the proper engineering and things in there to make him the best that they could. And then to throw in an extra third mode, it's just kind of a bonus. They didn't have to do it. It wasn't really needed, but they went ahead and did it, so that's kind of cool. The only real issues that I have are with these fins down here, and that you just need to be careful with them so that you don't break it. And then with the way that the legs connect in airplane mode, you could kind of see that I was having to push it back together again when it was in gun mode, just to keep those legs together and clipped in properly. If they maybe would have had some other kind of locking mechanism so that when you pushed them in far enough they would lock together, like maybe something kind of like a latch or something, so you'd push them in and they'd lock, and then you could then pull them back out. And with that, that's going to kind of go ahead and conclude my review of Powerglide. Don't forget to check out my other videos, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. This has been Tambiota, and I'll see you next time.